All right, it is rookie draft season still, so we are discussing rookies with instant opportunities.
Yes,
all right,
right here, right
because
now.
opportunities are important and they can change the market value for a player.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, we don't want to talk about any first round picks here. We don't want to talk about. I don't want to sit here and tell you Breece Hall is going to get opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to tell you that
Classic.
Drake London's going to get targets.
Classic.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But we are looking at players who are available in the second round and beyond of rookie drafts. And we're going to tell you why we think they could step into some really good opportunities from day one. So, my first player, and we're going to give you two each, is Alec Pierce. This is a prospect that I really liked in the pre-draft process.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that always stood out to me was his ability to catch everything.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very strong hands. Probably, in my opinion, the strongest at the point of the catch of any wide receiver. And then he goes out and runs that incredible 40 time.
Yep.
And now he gets second round draft capital to the Colts. So let's talk about this offense that he is joining. In 2021, the Colts threw the ball the sixth fewest times of any NFL team per game. Okay.
Right, okay. Not a good
Now,
start.
Yeah, there's two reasons behind that, right? The first being
Right.
Jonathan Taylor, right? The
Mhm.
Jonathan Taylor breakout, and the second being their lack of trust in Carson Wentz. Now, it was a topic of conversation all season, all right? Jim Irsay saying at some point, yes, we're gonna have to trust Carson Wentz. At some point, he's going to have to win game. This was constantly the conversation. The entire offense ran through Jonathan Taylor, and it will still be Jonathan Taylor's offense, but enter Matt Ryan.
Enter.
Okay. Now, why don't you go listen to what Jim Irsay has to say about Matt Ryan, essentially calling him the savior of their franchise. He said it's like seeing an astronaut walk around. This guy's just the savior of our. That's literally what he said. So enter Matt Ryan, who is a former MVP, who has taken a team to the Super Bowl, who, more importantly for fantasy purposes, has produced multiple top 12 wide receivers in multiple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And has never played in an offense like this, okay? Has never had the support of a run game like this in his entire days until Devonta Freeman, really, and has never played behind an offensive line like this. So enter Matt Ryan. There's a lot more security here for these wide receivers, in my opinion, and we're going to see this team allow Matt Ryan to take over this offense. Their trust level of Matt Ryan compared to Carson Wentz is completely different. So expect Matt Ryan and this offense to be a more even approach to their offense, okay? Now let's talk about Alec Pierce's role. After that second round draft capital, I think he instantly steps into this team as the wide receiver 2. So day one, comes into camp, he's the wide receiver 2 right behind Michael Pittman. All right? Now let's think about this. Zach Pascal and T.Y. Hilton, they're gone. I wouldn't be surprised if T.Y. Hilton got re-signed. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't worry me either. So that could happen. But between Zach Pascal and T.Y. Hilton, there are currently 106 vacated targets alone, okay? Just between those two guys. So you got Michael Pittman on one side, Alec Pierce on the other. I wouldn't be surprised if they use Pierce in a couple of different ways, potentially in the slot, with the type of speed that he has. And speaking of that speed, Alec Pierce can offer speed that Michael Pittman just doesn't possess, okay? Now, Michael Pittman is better in other areas as a player, but as far as speed goes, as far as stretching the field, Alec Pierce can offer something that Michael Pittman just simply cannot. It's not in his locker, if you will. So you put these two players on the field, and some people are worried about this combination. But to me, there's nothing wrong with having two guys that can go up and win the ball against any cornerback that you place on them. I mean, it's not something bad to have in your offense. Then you keep in mind that Alec Pierce is a freak athlete. I think there's a lot of opportunities here. And let's talk about that pathway to opportunities. Alec Pierce, the upside for me is that we could be seeing a player from day one that is averaging 10 points per game. Now, that doesn't sound sexy. That's not a top 12 finish, but that's a viable flex option from day one.
No
Steps
doubt.
into this offense.
No doubt.
Michael Pittman on the other side. Got Jelani Woods over the center, and which he'll fight for that tight end 1 role, I think, with Cox. But 100% worth an early second round pick, in my opinion, Alex Pierce is. So for me, I actually have him ranked as my 201. I am much higher on Alec Pierce than the rest of the community. So he is the 13th ranked player on my board for rookie drafts, Love the quarterback that he's connected to, the offense that he's connected to. They score a lot of points over there.
Okay.
Good defense as well. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for Alec Pierce to show what he can do as a talent. Love the talent, love the capital, love the offense, love the quarterback, love the competition. Everything lines up for me. Alec Pierce, book it.
Book it. Book it, sign, seal, send the card in, guys. I like Alec Pierce. Not as high as you, but I see it. I know everything you said I agree with, but we got to wait and see. I'm a little bit hesitant with Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman, but I'm not knocking it yet. So my first guy, I believe, could get instant opportunity. I think this one is pretty obvious, but I mean, from the rookie mock drafts that we've been doing, he's been going towards the middle of the second, towards the late second, and I think he deserves a 201 or 202, and that's David Bell. Okay? It's only 2 words. That's Deshaun Watson. He is the game changer. He is the guy that's going to bring opportunity, that's going to make him a fantasy relevant player. We have to hope that Deshaun Watson and all his nonsense that's happening clears out.
That's what I was gonna say. What happens if the first 8 weeks you got Andy Dalton at quarterback? That's pretty hard instant opportunity.
This is a long term thing. But even instant opportunity, he is wide receiver 2 on this team, in my opinion. You know, I mean, who is there? Jarvis Landry's gone. Rashad Higgins is gone. Yes, Amari Cooper's there, and then you have Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then David Bell. I think he's an immediate starter in the slot or on the outside, which I believe he might play in the slot because Donovan Peoples-Jones is a field stretcher, and Amari Cooper is your wide receiver. And I was trying to really break down all these targets. They're just all so scattered. Everyone was so hurt. Donovan Peoples-Jones played a couple games. Jarvis Landry will play 1 or 2 games, then get hurt. There's just so many.
It's tough as well because there will be more targets with Deshaun Watson. The offense will change.
Exactly. And that's
so there will be more available targets as well.
And that's the thing. So once again, Amari's on the outside, Donovan People on the outside, Bell in the slot. I can see kind of like Alec Pierce, 10 points per game in the start. Even if that's Baker, even if that is another quarterback that is doing it, I still believe he can get that opportunity, maybe 7 to 8, 9 targets a game in a good game on a good day. Let's remember as well, once Deshaun Watson's on the field, this is a run-first offense. That's going to change, in my opinion. That is immediately going to change. This offense is going to adapt to Deshaun Watson. To be fair, Deshaun Watson never had a run game like this with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, all these talented people. But Deshaun Watson is not a guy to hand off the ball. Let's remember where they're playing in this tough division. The Bengals, the Steelers, the Ravens. He has to compete. And I don't know how the hell, now thinking about it, they were winning games with Baker Mayfield with the run game.
Yeah. Well, you don't give someone the most guaranteed money ever in a contract to have him hand the ball off.
Exactly. So this offense will change. He will be throwing like the old Deshaun Watson. I can't even think of the number he used to throw back in the day with the Texans, but he will be hitting that number. He's
say like 30 attempts per game. 30 pass attempts per game.
That's it. I don't see anything less from that, to be honest, on a week-to-week basis for Deshaun Watson, and that's going to Amari Cooper and David Bell. So I love the opportunity here. I have him right now as my 202, my 14th overall player. I still like David Bell. Yes, the NFL Combine didn't do well for him, but he is still talented.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I have him currently as my 209. Maybe it feels a little bit too low for him there. I actually feel more comfortable with him from like 204 to 206, so I need to look at that. But I think it's a really good take. All right, my next player is another Pierce. I got the Pierce brothers.
The Pierce brothers. Talk it up.
And now we're going to talk about Dameon Pierce, a running back that you actually liked
the bulldozer.
More throughout the pre-draft process. I was always confused watching his tape because he looked so rigid in some games. In other games, he looked like this elite athlete. But regardless, the draft capital was pretty good. The landing spot pretty good over there in Houston. I currently have Dameon Pierce as my 207 in rookie drafts, so I feel pretty confident with his ability as a rookie. And by the way, he was drafted in the 4th round, which I did not expect Dameon Pierce to get 4th round draft capital personally.
I didn't think so either.
But let's look at the situation around him, okay? Let's look at this team. Let's look at this depth chart. And let's look at the goal of this team. There is no favoritism in a Lovie Smith team. He don't care who you are, what contract you're on. There's no favoritism. If you're the best player, you're going to get a chance to win a game for the Houston Texans. And I would suggest that this team probably knows that they're not in the running to go to the playoffs in the AFC. I think they're aware of how many good AFC teams there are right now. So I would wander to say that maybe they're going to try and see what they have with these young talents.
No doubt about it.
John Mechie and Dameon Pierce. So let's look at the depth chart and the competition for Dameon Pierce here. So who's in the way of him receiving carries in this offense? Well, David Johnson is gone, okay?
R.I.P.
But enter Marlon Mack on a 1-year, $2 million deal.
Right.
Okay? Like one of the cheapest deals that you can sign. Enter Rex Burkhead on a 1-year, $2.3 million deal.
Getting paid more.
And that's it.
Okay.
And that's it. That is the competition for Dameon Pierce right now. You're telling me that a 26, almost 27-year-old Marlon Mack, who is still not himself after the Achilles tear, is someone that we are worried about for Dameon Pierce? I wouldn't be surprised if Dameon Pierce beats out both of these guys at camp.
No doubt about it.
And enters the year as the guy getting most of the touches.
I agree.
Now, to manage expectations, this is most likely a running back by committee for a while. And I also do not believe that Dameon Pierce is going to be a true workhorse long-term in the NFL. I don't think Dameon Pierce stops this team from drafting another running back in the future or a free agent, but I think instant opportunity, he fits the bill for me. So the pathway to success, would it surprise us again if Marlon Mack or Rex Burkhead were cut? It wouldn't surprise me. The team doesn't really need to cut them though, because they're not really going to save all that much money. But I think there's a clear pathway to opportunity here. His upside, I think Dameon Pierce, let's look at weeks 1 to 5, probably 10 touches per game. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but there's a lot of these running backs who are going to be absolutely buried in depth charts, just buried, and they're not going to be even seeing the field. So I think he probably could get 10 touches per game in the first 5 weeks. And then from week 5 onwards, maybe we're looking at 13 to 16 touches a game. And that's someone who trade market for players is so volatile, and it's always based off of what we've seen in the past couple months. That's how the trade market is determined. And Pierce is one of those guys who, if he gets, if he has a pretty good season, puts up 6-7 touchdowns and, finishes as the RB 27 or something, that's someone I'm probably looking to sell going into the offseason. And I feel like I've made money off of my pick. So Dameon Pierce really intrigues me.
Okay.
Competition isn't there for him, so
I love it. I love Dameon Pierce. I call him the bulldozer. I think he would definitely get a perfect opportunity. I mean, this is a perfect offense for him, I believe. A guy that can punch it in, on the goal line, whatever the case may be. I think he is a stronger, the better back. Better than Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead. All right, my final and last player that I believe can get instant opportunity, and it's crazy that I'm saying this because I wasn't high on him. That is Isaiah Spiller. Winning the fourth round. The fall
from grace, man. The fall from grace for Spiller.
Bro, the 4th round going to the Los Angeles Chargers, when you first look at this, you're like, oh, nothing's going to happen. But then you really break it down and you see it. This is, I think, what the Chargers always been looking for. A change of pace guy, a bigger back, the complete opposite of Austin Eckler. Okay, a bigger, I guess you can say, bulldozer type guy. Maybe not. I don't think it was crazy to say, but I don't think he's stronger than Austin Eckler because that guy is a freak of nature. Yeah. But he can punch it in the hole, if you know what I mean. He can get that goal on that first down yards. And what's crazy when I say that, I still believe Austin Eckler can still do that better than Isaiah Spiller. Okay, let's break down the pathway to opportunity. Once again, like I said, the Chargers have been looking for a change of pace back, a guy that can maybe take the edge off and be better. They saw that with Larry Roundtree, Joshua Kelly, Justin Jackson. Mm-hmm. They even bought Kalen Balajian for a year or two. If you combine all 3 of those guys' attempts in 2021, which is Larry Roundtree, Joshua Kelly, and Justin Jackson, 137 attempts. That is going to Isaiah Spiller day one. Not day one, but
you think so?
In the season. I think he is the better back over all these guys. I believe they're going to trust him with all those attempts. And the only reason why any of these guys will be on the field is because one or both of them are exhausted or hurt. Okay.
And I think Justin Jackson's a free agent, by the way.
Okay. Well,
Which is good.
Yeah, which is
good for your take.
Excuse me. So all 3 running backs were averaging under 5 carries per game. Spiller, I think no doubt can do that. He was doing that in college already. I can see him getting 6 carries per game, 8 on a good day. I mean, I can see him maxing 150 attempts. Maybe this first year, 150 attempts. Maybe he steals 10 or 15 from Eckler, but that's from on the ground. Eckler did a lot of his work in the air. Okay, I think
he was still pretty efficient on the ground, but
exactly,
yeah.
he was, no doubt about it. I think this is sneaky value. This is sneaky value that you can get. I currently have him as my overall player at the 302. I think that's fantastic for Isaiah Spiller. I think this is a guy that can maybe you can plug him in if Austin Eckler gets hurt. And this feels comfortable because when Austin Eckler got hurt, he's like, damn, who is it going to be? Larry Roundtree, Joshua Kelly?
For sure.
There's no doubt about it. It's Isaiah Spiller moving forward for the next couple years.
Yeah, if Eckler gets hurt, Spiller is the most obvious step in. My thing is, that's what I was going to say. I don't think there's value I don't think there's instant value because the only way I see Spiller being a value is if Eckler gets injured. Right. I don't think that this team who went out and got, Khalil Mack, they went out and got JC Jackson. Like, this team wants to win, and I think the more touches you get to Eckler over Spiller, the better you are. You and I weren't high on on Spiller, but to be fair, that's because he was going in at like the 108 in rookie drafts before the NFL draft, and we were like, guys, this is way too high. Now at the 302, the 303, I agree. Like, this is someone I'm willing to take a chance on, but I would just say I don't have the expectation that he's going to step in and be relevant in fantasy or startable, like as a flex from day one. Right. Because it's only going to happen for me if Eckler goes down and they need him.
I see him.
He's like a really good depth piece for them.
Yeah, he's a really good depth piece, and I can see him getting opportunity like maybe it's too much, but maybe on a good day, J.D. McKissick.
Right. Okay.
On a really good day, maybe
because most people's like advocation for him is, well, he's a great pass catcher. Well, why the hell are you gonna not give Austin Eckler pass catching opportunities?
Yeah,
know what I mean.
I think he would be more of like, I guess, the bigger back, the guy that can change it up, like maybe a guy that can block, and if Justin Herbert doesn't have anyone, he can go out and catch the ball, like, and he can still do those things.
It's intriguing for sure.
Yeah, and I think. It's weird to say,
but the good thing about Spiller is that his ADP hasn't gone through the roof, and that's what you always want to assess is risk versus reward. So yeah, I'm on board with the take.
Yeah, I like.
I just don't know if it's going to be an instant guy,
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
I think it's good. All right, those are our players that we're talking about, instant opportunities. Why don't you comment down below and let us know a player that you're thinking about that you think could have instant opportunity.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLandFam.